Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines, coming to you from the West Coast. Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And it's time for the player props video we love to bring you each and every weekday. Do make sure you're staying on the lines.com, playpicks.com to see who's in and out of these lineups, as a couple of these could be affected by guys who are inserted back into the lineup from health and safety protocols. You see guys coming in and out right now. Do make sure you're staying on top of that before you make those best bets. Speaking of which, Nate has those up on playpicks.com for you, some best bets and player props in there for you as well. And make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page, as we're about to give you a gift card opportunity here in just a minute that you can throw into the comments, but you do need to be liked and subscribed, and you can check out those other couple videos we have for you on this New Year's Eve slate. And as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or a DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com and find those listings in your area. This is what we got for tonight with these player props. Nate, let's get into it.
Last one of 2021, and we're closing it out with LeBron James. Again, he's hit, I believe, in 3 consecutive videos when he led player props. Now his scoring prop is up to 30, whereas it had been around 27, 28. But he has 31 plus points in 6 straight games, actually averaging 35, along with 10 rebounds, 6.5 assists. In that span, his usage rate is up to over 32% since Anthony Davis went down. And he likes playing Portland, that's for sure. I mean, lots of people do. And Portland is going to be without Yusuf Nurkic and Robert Covington, their best wing defender here due to protocol. So Bron in 8 meetings with Portland since joining the Lakers, averaging 28 points, 10 rebounds, 9.3 assists, with a stellar 120 offensive rating. So you put a little bit more of a usage rate, a little bit more minutes played on those stats, and you got to like where he's at to get over 30 points. To get over 30.5 points assists is where I'm looking there. You actually have better odds on that at FanDuel because this Portland team gives up the second most assists per game on the road. And it's been even higher lately, giving up 29 dimes per game, whereas LeBron lately has been getting he's got 25 assists over his last 3, starting to distribute a little bit more, trying different ways to get his team going because they've been struggling so much. And one of those things has been shooting a lot of triples. He has 14 threes in his last 3 games. Portland is dead last in 3-point percentage, allowing 115 points per game over the last 7. So if you want kind of a fun extra juice here on New Year's Eve to try to get that payday, 4 threes for LeBron in a win is plus 370 at FanDuel, and he just hit 8 threes in a loss to Memphis. Portland is 3-13 in their last 16 games, so I think we can expect that the Lakers will at least take care of business with this game, especially with Portland missing 3 of their 4 most important players. Damian Lillard is the only one really standing here, and hopefully he keeps this game close enough that LeBron continues to get his stats, but I think the Lakers should win it.
Yeah, they should. And before I get into anything else with LeBron, I would like to make that the gift card opportunity. If we're going to keep picking the man and getting him right, let's go ahead and involve him in this gift card prop here. So let's get his points, rebounds, and assists combined, all 3 of those tonight for LeBron. That is the player prop. Jump into the comments. Let us know what you think that will be tonight. You do need to be liked and subscribed to the page to be eligible to win that. I think LeBron tonight will have another stellar performance. I would even consider maybe if you like those 4 threes in a win, fine. If you like, I think we're both looking at a number of other player performance doubles with a nice, decent line here. The under 6 for the Lakers against Portland. Still going to get some nice juice on your player performance doubles on FanDuel. 35 and a win is actually plus 320. That's a lot of points, but I feel like he's going to be putting up those tonight. If you want to just put that down to about 30 and a win as well, you can get a little bit worse on your money there, but still, plus 220 or so on that. So I would consider either of those for LeBron as well, because I do expect the Lakers to beat a team that is just really, really dwindling right now and falling in the Blazers. So I'm going to move on to a pick that is actually kind of important to know if Luka Doncic is playing tonight. I don't believe he will for the Mavs, but that's why if he's not, you continue to look at Jalen Brunson, who for a long time I thought was probably a starting point guard. He came in every time he was on the second unit. He's always the best, one of the best players on the floor and definitely the best point guard for the most part. And so, now he's back into the starting lineup and getting a ton of minutes. And last time he played Sac. It was a pretty gross game, 95-94, but the man still had 25 points on 11 of 18 shooting. He was still very efficient with a 29% usage rate. So, that and it was a big indication of what he's capable of doing against a team that's very, very bad, especially against point guards is Sacramento. De'Aaron Fox is struggling hugely, especially since coming back in the last 3 games from COVID. Since that time, Sac is allowing the most points in the paint. And really all season, Sac actually allows the most points per game to opposing point guards, which Jalen Brunson's very, very much a true point guard. So I feel pretty good about his points tonight at about 21.5 on FanDuel. If you like, you can actually just get 20 and a win for the Mavs against the struggling Sacramento Kings tonight. That's plus 220. But either way, like in his last 7, it's just a different player when Luka's not there. He is the man, averaging about 22 points per game, 8 assists on really good splits, 50, 40, 72, playing about 37 minutes a game in that time frame. Usage rate at about 25%. So it's almost like Jason Kidd just sort of inserted Jalen Brunson into the Luka Doncic role. And he's really thrived, honestly, as a result and playing very efficient basketball. So 21.5 points or 20 points in a win for even better juice on your money there. Feel good about Jalen tonight.
Yeah, the Mavs are only 4-9 without Luka still, but their efficiency is about the same on both ends of the floor. Now that we have a large enough sample size to say that Brunson, keeps them afloat, and his numbers have been very good lately. I think as long as Luka's out, I have no problem following you on that one. I think it makes a lot of sense. And De'Aaron Fox seems like, as I'm out of breath here coming off COVID while being vaccinated, I imagine it was very difficult to play in an NBA game. Even if you didn't have a very strong case, it just saps your lungs, and he has not been good in 3 games since coming back. Desmond Bane has been lights out, though, in 3 games. Without Dillon Brooks, he's averaging nearly 27 points per game and hitting 4.5 threes at nearly 50%. The second-year man is just very, very confident. And even last year as a rookie, he only played 21 minutes in a couple games against the Spurs, but went 7 for deep from 3. Now it's a Spurs team that's playing at the fastest pace with the top offensive rating while going steady over in their last 7. They're giving up 114 points per game. They're 20th in three-point D on the season. I would look at Bane to get 20 points as your safer bet here, but you get juice here, plus 140 for him to hit 4 threes. And I think the way he's been shooting lately in his last 2 home games, he's got 45 points on 8 for 19 from 3. I would consider that one there for some extra juice, or the 20 points in a win gets you plus 170. Those player performance doubles we always like to hit. But with Dillon Brooks out, Desmond Bane is going to be that number one option for John Morant to sort of drive and kick to, and he's been lights out lately. Ja now starting to take off. He should be exploiting that Spurs defense all over the place and getting him some good looks.
Yeah, I've been loving Desmond Bane. They've been looking to get him some time, and John Morant's injury this season was probably the best thing that's ever happened to Desmond Bane. Now, Dillon Brooks has been out, so if one of those two guys are out, Desmond Bane has been showing that he's an offensive, he's got firepower for sure, shooting with confidence over any and everybody. Actually beat the Lakers almost single-handedly, at least on offense recently as well. And I think he's found himself steadily in this starting lineup, and as potentially the second option moving forward for this team. But they've got a bevy of options with Jaren Jackson Jr. When Dillon Brooks come back, this team is looking really good. And Desmond Bane is a huge, huge reason for that. Also a candidate for, most improved player of the year for sure. So pretty good candidates for that award, actually, but we'll usually not a very fun award. And Desmond Bane will actually make it fun this year with a couple other guys. I'm going to end with a couple of options in that Hawks and Rockets game. Pick your poison between Clint Capella or Trae Young. We spent the majority of that video that we have that other video up for you today. We spent the majority of that one talking about why the Hawks should win this game and probably will. And it's because Trae Young, Clint Capella are on the floor. You could throw Cam Reddish in there, but these are the two guys that if you don't have, one of them, your team is much worse, especially on defense for Clint. But I think you're talking tonight specifically for this game. For Clint, you're talking about 27.5 points plus rebounds combined, gets you about minus 110 on FanDuel. Trae, you would consider 41.5 points and assists. That actually gets you plus 220. I really, really like that one because Trae actually has 11 plus assists in 3 straight at Cleveland, 4 straight versus Cleveland overall. And in those last 3 in Cleveland, usage rate at about 37%, something that we're used to with him. He's actually got that usage rate up to 40% the last time in the last game that they played, the Hawks versus the Bulls. The other last thing there for me, either of these guys, plus 200 for either of them to get a double-double and a win. We both really like Atlanta to win this game. They've got 3 guys that can play versus Houston still struggling with all those young guys, not playing a lick of defense. So I think, you consider either or both of those, Clint to get those rebounds and points double-double, Trey to get, 10 plus assists for sure. And then, easy 10 points, for him. So I would consider both of those guys for their respective stats against a Houston team that we both know is about as bad as it gets on defense this year.
Cleveland we're talking about, but yeah, with the Cavs without their starting backcourt of Rubio and Garland. And we mentioned in that video how bad their defensive rating gets without either of those guys, how Ricky Rubio's been playing the best defense of his life. And now they don't have him. And yeah, now Trae Young's going to be going up against, I guess Isaac Okoro at times, who's coming off COVID himself. I guess some Pangos, yeah, some rookie, some schooling opportunities there. And Capella, yeah, I think if Jared Allen is out or not healthy, he should get a double-double easily. He's coming off 18 and 15 against Chicago, and his usage rate spiked up to 22%. He's got a couple high usage games in his last 4 versus previously they weren't really using him at all. He had a usage rate of like 13 in his previous 7. So, yeah, with them so shorthanded, it's going to be Trey and Clint running pick and roll, I think, all day. Yes. So either of those guys have very nice exploitable props there. Yeah. And Trey getting some nice plus odds on his because the numbers are so high.
Yeah, I mean, 41.5 points and assists combined is you're saying he's going to get about 30 and 12. I'm not ruling it out. I think he gets to that 30-point mark. And like we say, he's been hot on those assists as of late. They've actually run the most pick and rolls in the league in their last 3 games, has Clint and Trae Young. Interesting quick stat there. So that's going to be the primary focus point on the offense. But that is all the time we have for our very last video of 2021. Not sure we'll miss this year too much, hoping for a better 2022. But yeah, make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page, as we do have 3 videos up for you on this New Year's Eve slate. And until we see you next year, Happy New Year's and happy betting.